LSU walks off Arkansas. The Tigers are headed to the championship series. It's Locked on LSU. Here we go.
You are Locked on LSU, your daily podcast on the LSU Tigers. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, let's get it. It is Locked on LSU, your team every day. I'm your host, Matt Moscona. Thank you so much for making us your first listen. We are free, available wherever you get great podcasts, of course, on YouTube as well. So please subscribe. As always, one of the fastest ways to help us grow is by leaving your comments below. Today's episode brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. How about them Tigers? Yeah! What a freaking dramatic win. I'm just sitting here thinking, in my entire life, I don't even know, I might have just knocked off my switchboard. Let me make sure I got good audio. Y'all tell me if I don't have good audio. I don't know what, I'm throwing things over here. In my entire life of being an LSU baseball loving fan, I mean, let me wax poetic here for a minute. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about Zach Cowan. We're going to talk about Jared Jones, 2 massive swings. We're going to talk about Jake Brown. We're going to talk about some of the questionable decisions, what they did, what they almost did. We're going to get into all of it. We're going to get into all of it. And we are going to look ahead to Coastal, and we're going to celebrate. But I got to sit here and start and wax poetic for a quick second, y'all. I mean, when lifelong LSU fan, when my family moved to Baton Rouge, I was 7 years old. It was 1989, and LSU football stunk. They were in the midst of 6 straight losing seasons, and Skip was on the ascent with baseball. You all know the story, but that was the formative years of my life, and I love this baseball program. I know a lot of you are baseball fans. I know you love the pro. I get it. Like, I just need you to understand, like, when I was a kid, our weekdays, like, you'd go to baseball practice and Dad would pick us up, and then we go to the box and we watch the middle 3 and then go home and do homework. And we buy the programs for 25 cents and you get the lucky seat number. And I still got autographed bats with the Piccadilly logo on it from the 91 championship team. It's just, I love this team. Always have. And I just think about immediately all the walk-offs that we've been blessed to see. And here, 10, 20, 30 years later, they still resonate emotionally. Todd Walker in 1993 to send LSU to the championship. Armando Rios firing his helmet in the air. Warren Morris in 1996. Brad Cressy scoring Ryan Terrio in 2000. I mean, we could go through the years. Tommy White 2 years ago, y'all. We will remember these forever. And now what we just watched to send LSU to the championship series, it joins that list, man. It joins that list. Like, I just listed Todd Walker and Warren Morris and Brad Cressy and Tommy White. I mean, y'all, I just listed 4 names that had walk-off wins in Omaha, and now a 5th with Jared Jones. It's incredible when you're blessed to see these moments. And that's one that, y'all, I mean, I do this show. I sit here and I do this show and I have to make these graphics and everything. And I had to change it like 4 times in this game. I mean, it looked really bad initially when LSU couldn't hit battle sheets. And then Jake Brown comes off the bench and rips the 2 RBI single, and you're up 2-1. And then Chase Shores comes in looking like a Greek god, and you think this thing is done because here comes Ianson in the bullpen. And then in the 8th inning, it was just a brutal sequence where it all fell apart, and you find yourself now down 3-2. And then Bear Jones ties it, and here you go again. You got a chance to walk it off. And then a disgusting sequence in the 9th where they score 2 runs, and now you're down 5-3 and thinking, all right, well, it's over. Let's start gearing up for what Thursday is going to look like. And my goodness, LSU against Gibbler. And John Pearson leads off with an ugly strikeout and you turn the lineup over, and Derek Curiel gets on base, does what he has done all year. I mean, he gets on base. I think they ruled it a double. Let me check. I don't know if it was a single and a throwing error. Let me see how they ruled it in the ninth. They ruled it a single and a throwing error for Curiel. And then Ethan Fry does a beautiful job drawing that walk, y'all. I mean, Ethan Fry's walk, he was laying off tough pitches from Gibbler. And then Stephen Milam walks, and all of a sudden you're looking up, and there's two on, and you hit the ground ball. Forgive me, Curiel reached, Fry walked, and then Milam's up, and my God, Vaheva Aloy, as great a player as he is, he's going to relive that moment for the rest of his life. I mean, Milam rolls over one from the right side, and it was a brilliant job keeping Gibbler in there because it turned Milam around to the right side. He rolls over one. The game should be over, and the player of the year in the conference goes to third to get the lead runner. That doesn't even matter because you're up 2. Turn the double play. At least if you only get the lead runner, now you've got one run that's insignificant at third. You got the out at second, runner at first. They need an extra base hit to get that runner home from first. Vaheva Aloy just had a brain fart. And then Luis Hernandez ropes one, and the left fielder can't come up with it, hits him on the shoulder, misplays the ball, 2-run score. And then Bear Jones. My goodness. What a day. What a day. What a game. Awesome. Do me a favor. Please smash that like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for being with us here. Tigers are headed to the championship series. They'll take on Coastal Carolina. As much of a complete and total disappointment as that weather delay was, because it forced you to use Evans on Tuesday instead of what he should have pitched in this game, because you were able to win this game now and not use Anthony Ianson, you will be a monumental favorite over Coastal Carolina with respect to that team that's won 26 games. And we are going to talk about Morrison, and we're going to talk about Coastal as we get closer to it. But the bottom line is, whatever they have, it doesn't matter because you have Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson queued up on full rest now to go win you 2 baseball games. And my goodness, what a freaky, phenomenal, man. Absolutely phenomenal. We got a ton to talk about. Drop your comments. Thank you to everybody. Scott, LSU took 4 out of 5 from Arkansas this year. I mean, think about that. Arkansas was right there with Tennessee among the most talented teams in the country. And LSU beat them 4 out of 5 games. And the one that Arkansas got was a game where LSU led early and the bullpen faltered. But my God, they just owned that team this year. It was incredible. No, hold on. Y'all are asking for the pool. Now, hang on. I'm seeing a lot of these comments. I'm seeing a lot of comments about the pool. I'd be very clear. I said I would pool jump again when LSU wins the national championship, and I will do it. You have my word. LSU wins the national championship. I will do this show outside in my outdoor kitchen, drinking whiskey straight from. I'll pull down my Rip 10. Because I killed my 12-year lot beef happy. I'll pull my Rip 10 off that shelf, and I'll drink it from the bottle, and I will jump in the pool, and we will do this show on the patio. You have my word. When LSU wins the national championship, but not yet. Okay? Not yet. Not yet. Okay? I will do it. I promise. Not yet. 2 more wins, and this show, I will jump in the pool. I might even just stay in the pool. Maybe I'll just do the show shirtless in the pool. That's maybe what I'll do. 2,615 of y'all watching. God bless. I love you so much. Okay, let's get into the game. Okay, very quickly, let me do my first break so I make sure I hit all my elements. I'm not going anywhere, y'all. I'll be here as long as y'all want to be here. So let me hit my very quick first break, come back, and I'll run through my game notes. We'll run through this game. We'll talk about Coastal. We'll get your questions. Stay with us. We're celebrating. I'm probably going to get something off the shelf too right now. It's Locked on LSU, your team every day. You ever look at your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track your accounts, investments, spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, how about you use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, even plan long-term goals? And managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts. You can set goals. You can stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. Okay, let's get into the game, y'all. Where to begin? Let's just start at the top. Let's start at the decision to start Zach Cowan. Y'all know I like the decision to start Zach Cowan. I think it was the right call because your options were Cowan or Evans. Excuse me, I've been yelling. Your decisions were Cowan or Newt. And you went with the experienced guy, and I love the decision. I love the decision to throw Cowan against Little Rock. We talked about it then. It didn't work. Cowan struggled to throw strikes, but I liked it. I did not think you were going to get the outing out of Zach Cowan that you got. So to be very clear, while I liked the decision to start him, I didn't think you were getting 5 1/3 of one-run ball on just 4 hits. And by the way, one of the hits was the last batter that Cowan faced, which was a bleeder of a single against the shift. So really, he allowed 3 hits in the ball game, and the one in the first inning was an infield single. So the only other one was the friggin' home run. They put one really good swing on Zach Cowan. He was awesome in this ball game. Zach Cowan's final line: 5 1/3, 1 run on 4 hits. He struck out 6, no walks. What have we been talking about? Cowan's bugaboo in struggling 4 of the last five outings. The free passes. Did not walk anybody. He was great. And on a day where your offense was handcuffed by Landon Beidle cheese, whatever, Cowan kept you in it. He kept you in it until your offense got going, and ultimately your offense did in fact get going. A couple of things. How about, in the first inning, how about the play by Stephen Milam on Vaheva Aloy's grounder? Going to the hole, sliding, pop-up, throw, incredible. That'll be a web gem. And let's not sleep on Braswell, who got the 3rd out of that inning. Beautiful charge, transfer, throw on the run. I know Braswell has been absolutely miserable at the plate. I know it. We can talk about it. What do you do? We'll talk about it, okay? Let's talk about it now. Cowan needed 21 pitches to get through the first. That wasn't great. But then later in the 5th, he had a 10-pitch inning. So he was able to get more efficient. He got 3 ground outs. Weak contact, easy outs, good defense behind him. The Braswell component of it, I understand completely. He's hitting, 030 in the tournament right now? 030. It's atrocious. It's hard to watch. I mean, even when you had a situation with a man on second and nobody out, after Dickinson hit the little chopper over the third baseman's head, that was to start off the 7th. You got to run on second, nobody out. You're going to ask him to put a bunt down. He pops up the bunt. I mean, it's miserable. I get it. You have to ask the question, is Tanner Reeves so much lesser of a defensive third baseman that it justifies keeping Braswell in? Or is Braswell that much better of a third baseman that it justifies having a DO, a designated out, in your lineup? That's something Jay Johnson is going to have to decide. But what I'll say is this: you're 2 wins away from the national championship with this approach. Why would you change it now? It's just something to consider. If I have one there's many things throughout this game, but some of the disappointments. Let me not say disappointments. Sure, disappointments. I don't want it to sound negative. But you won the game. I'm thrilled. I'm ecstatic. But in the moment, it was disappointing, is what I'm saying. You got your leadoff man on in the bottom. Curiel doubled to start the game. Probably should have been a single and an error, but they ruled it a double. Whatever. Thank you, official score. Curiel doubled to open up the first. You let off the bottom of the second with a single. That was Jones. That was Jones who led off the second with a single. You led off the fourth with a hit by pitch. You led off the sixth with a double and the seventh with a double. In 5 of the first 7 innings, you got the leadoff man, and 1, 2, 3 of them were extra base hits. In 3 of the first 7 innings, you got your leadoff man on second base. I mean, you had opportunities to get to Battle Cheese and blow this thing open, and you didn't come through in certain situations. In the second, after they intentionally walked Dickinson to get to Braswell, and Braswell struck out with runners in scoring position. I mean, you had runners in scoring position in the first and the second, couldn't get them home. And in the third, Battle Cheese struck out the side, and it was your 1, 2, 3 hitters. It was Curiel, Fry, Milam, 1, 2, 3 that struck out there to start the third inning. So it was, and then at the top of the fourth is when they led off with the home run, and it's 1-0. So all of a sudden you're looking up going, man, like Cowan gave you 3, he got you 9 outs. He was really solid. Is this the end of the rope for Cowan? The offense just hasn't been able to break through. They should have been able to give him a lead by now because you've had opportunities, and now they've got the lead. But major hat tip to Zach Cowan, because after that homer, he went strikeout, fly out, settle down, didn't let it phase him. Not only did he get him in order after the home run in the fourth, he had the 10-pitch fifth, ground out. And then in the sixth, he got Aloy to strike out to start the sixth, and then was the single against the shift, which was the last batter he faced. So after the homer, he recorded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive outs. After the homer, 7 consecutive outs, and then the single against the shift, and they pulled him. So we could talk about the decision to pull Cowan there in the sixth. I didn't love it at the time, very candidly. If he had been losing command, I could see it. But they decided to go to Newt, which was a different look. After you'd been just picking them apart with 92 and then change-ups and the backdoor slider, you bring in Newt, who's throwing 97. And it worked because you went fly out, strike out, and you're out of the inning. And then in the seventh, Newt got a ground out to start it. And this was, again, after LSU took the lead on Brown's 2 RBI single, which I'll come back to that. Then you went to Shore. So you look at the bottom of the sixth, jumping around a little bit. Okay, so it's bottom 6. You brought in Newt. He gets the fly out and the strikeout. You're down 1-0 at this point in the bottom of the 6th. They've still got Battle Sheets in the game. You lead off the 6th with a double and a hit by pitch. It was a critical point of this ball game where you finally not only were able to get the leadoff runner on, but after the leadoff runner got on, when Ethan Fry hit the double to left, Milam got on the hit by pitch. Remember, it's one of his foot, and he tried to act like it didn't hit him because it scooted away, and Fry went to third. But anyway, so now you got first and second, and they bring in Gabe Gackle. And this was the moment where, going to Gabe Gackle, I felt like no matter what happened in the remainder of this game, I felt really good about Thursday if it got there. Because this is an illustration of the thing that we've discussed here, which is Jay Johnson and Dave Van Horn had very different realities today. Both wanted to win this game, but Dave Van Horn had to win this game. Jay Johnson had a game to play with. And that's the big difference between the two in this ball game. Anthony Ianson was warming up, but Jay Johnson never went to him because he didn't have to go to him. In this situation, in a 1-0 ball game, now with first and second, with Arkansas leading 1-0, first and second, and it was Hernandez coming up. I mean, now it's Hernandez, Jones, Pearson, and then ultimately Brown coming up, but would have been Stanfield. In that sequence, you're trying to protect your 1-0 lead. They went to their best guy, Gabe Gackle. And that effectively meant that for however long Gackle was out there, he was going to be burned for Thursday. And it was going to be Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson potentially against whoever's left from Arkansas. So in going to Gackle, I still felt great about Thursday, but you were hoping you could break through. Luis Hernandez lays down the sack bunt, which I hate giving them an out, and then Jones strikes out, which is brutal. Gackle had been a terrible matchup for Jones, but Jones finally broke through with the homer, which we'll get to. And it's just the way Gackle pitches with the high heat, which is struggles for Jones to lay off of, and the slider away, which Jones has struggled to hit, which he finally did on a single, which was a beautiful job dropping the bat. But anyway, and then they intentionally walked Pearson to get to Stanfield, and that's when they pinch hit for Brown. You had the right-hander Gackle in. They went to Brown. Brown delivers with a 2 RBI single. It's 2-1. Could have been 3-1 because they ran the double steal. So Brown tried to induce the pickle to send Pearson home, and Brown stumbled trying to get back to first. There's a few things about this sequence. Number one, you can say, brilliant job pinch hitting Jake Brown right there. Sure. Or you could start one of your best players and get him 5 at-bats in every game because he's one of your best players. I'm tired of yelling it. Y'all know how I feel about it, and I'm actually tired of hearing anything to the contrary. Respect to Josh Pearson. It's not an anti-Josh Pearson take. It's Jake Brown is one of your best players. Play him every game. Could this game have been dramatically different if Brown were in the lineup the entire time? I don't know, maybe, but we won't know. That's one thing. And two, you've got a runner on third base after Brown and Dickinson's up. Like, I understand Dickinson has had his struggles, but Dickinson had 2 hits in this ballgame tonight. Would you rather Dickinson swing away or run a youth league pickle play trying to steal a run from third? Like, sometimes your guys are better. Let your guys that are better go be better. So I had a big I know there's going to be praise for how that all played out. Going to Brown was the obvious choice right there. I can't understand why you're not starting him every game. I understand what Jay is going to continue to do when you face a lefty, and I will continue to disagree with it all the way to the national championship. And I hope they win it, and I hope it's a right-handed starting pitcher, whoever they face, so that way Jake Brown will be in the lineup because that's what it should be. Anyway, let's be happy because it all worked out, and LSU is going to play for a national championship, and they're going to be massively favored. Okay. So LSU's up 2-1. I want to get through the rest of that sequence with what happened and my takeaways from it. We'll get to your comments and all that stuff. And we'll start to take a look at Coastal Carolina. So stay with us here, Locked on LSU, your team every day. You probably noticed my hat. It is, of course, for Our Lady of the Lake, and we are thrilled to have Our Lady of the Lake as one of our new partners here on Locked on LSU. You know who takes care of LSU's top athletes. It's Our Lady of the Lake. And that same level of care is available to you and your family, just like it's been for me and my family. I've told you candidly over the years, my son Drew is cared for at Our Lady of the Lake, the standalone children's hospital. He sees several specialists over there. Dr. Shaw is our neurologist, who's awesome. My GP, my doctor, is Dr. Kurt Chastain at the Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group. So in every phase of my life, even back to when I was a kid, volunteering in Key Club at the Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, Ronald McDonald Playroom, or helping with Drive the Future and other fundraising campaigns to build the standalone children's hospital or still to fund it. Y'all know I'm a partner in Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish was a sponsor this year of Driving the Future. Our Lady of the Lake is an organization that I have certainly, in my family, have taken full advantage of, being in this community for so many years. And this partnership just isn't about LSU sports. It's about caring for all of us and creating opportunity and leading the next generation of healthcare talent right here at home. So if you're in the field, you're in the stands, you're just doing life, know that championship level healthcare is right here for you. You can learn more at ololrmc.com/LSU. That's ololrmc.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together we roar. Okay, let's dive into the remainder of this sequence. So it's 2-1. LSU's leading. Jake Brown gets the big hit. You get the caught stealing. Newt goes back out there, gets a ground out to start the 7. They go to Chase Shores, and he goes strikeout, and all of a sudden we're feeling awesome. You are 6 outs away. Anthony Ianson is getting warm in the bullpen, at least starting to move around, and you're feeling really good about where LSU is. You got a lead. You got a Greek god on the mound, and you got an All-American caliber pitcher in the bullpen ready to come in to stamp out any fire if you get there. Well, it didn't go great. In the bottom of the 7th, Dickinson doubled. Braswell was up. He pops up the bunt. And then after Braswell pops up the bunt, Curiel and Fry strike out back-to-back. That's a moment where it felt pretty awful because you were up 2-1. You had a leadoff double, a chance to build your lead, and it was about as ugly a 3 at-bat sequence as LSU had the entire game, other than when Battleshee struck out the side in the 3rd. And then the top of the 8th was just a brutal sequence. Chase Shores, who had been so good, gives up the leadoff single in the top of the 8th. Oh, man. Hang on. Thomas, and by the way, this is also why this is terrible. You're in a situation where, no, that was in the 9th. In the 9th, when they took the lead again, is when they had 6, 7, 8 coming up to the plate. You had 9, 1, 2. But anyway, excuse me. In the 8th, Thomas leads off with a single. Davelin grounded into the fielder's choice. So you got the lead runner at second. Then Vaheva Aloy singles to left. So you got first and second, and then you have the hit by pitch. And in this moment, I'm thinking you have got to go get Chase Shores right here, because Shores is a max effort bullpen guy. Like, you're telling him, I don't need you to pace to go 6 innings. I need you to throw 100 mile an hour. Think Zach Hess in 2017. Big difference between Zach Hess, the starter, and Zach Hess, the reliever. Zach Hess, the reliever, was max effort, 97, 98, 99, every pitch, crazy move, max effort. Zach Hess, the starter, you wanted it 93, 95 to be able to extend. And when you needed to grab 97, throw it. Chase Shores is max effort. Well, when you're max effort, eventually it's like an adrenaline dump. And when it's done, then you're going to start to lose velo and command. And when he went single, fielder's choice, single, hit by pitch, at this point, it felt like it was done. And the next batter was the fielder's choice and the error at first, where you probably had the ground ball double play to get out of the inning, and Jones just whiffed the relay. He just whiffed the relay. I mean, hit his glove in the air. Catch the ball, you're out of the inning. Instead, 2-run score, you're down 3-2, which is a brutal sequence. But Jones made amends for it because he comes up with a solo homer in the bottom of the 8th to tie the game. And then even after Jones hits the homer, Jake Brown singles. You get a walk. And then it was Dickinson who struck out in the 8th. So you had, again, bottom of the 8th, it was Dickinson who struck out with 2 on, runners in scoring position again. And unfortunately, you just weren't able to get it done, man. So, and forgive me, it was Pearson who singled and Brown who walked. I flipped that. Forgive me. And then Dickinson struck out. So you left runners in scoring position in the first, where you wasted a leadoff double. You left runners in scoring position in the second. You left, you scored 2 in the 6th. You wasted a leadoff double in the 7th, and you left a runner in scoring position in the 8th as well. I mean, you had so many opportunities with runners in scoring position in this game. And so then the question becomes, if you're Jay Johnson, what do? You have a wobbly Chase Shores who got out of it. It's a tie ball game thanks to Jones's homer. He goes back to Shores in the 9th, and it unraveled quickly. Ground out, single, double. They go get Jacob Myers because you're in desperate need of a strikeout, and instead 2 RBI single, and just like that, it's 5-3. Feeling pretty awful actually at this moment. Myers would get the strikeout to end the inning, but man, at that point is when I was changing all the graphics for this show to say, this is probably going to be Arkansas forces the final game on Thursday, the winner take all, and I'm starting to gather my thoughts about how this is going to all transpire. With pitching on Thursday and who's available, and Kate Anderson and Anthony Einstein backing each other up. And I felt great about LSU on Thursday, but it was a pretty low moment. And then the dramatics of the 9th. The dramatics of the 9th inning with, the dramatics of the 9th inning where after John Pearson struck out, single followed by an error from Derek Curiel, who gets to second base. The walk, Stephen Milam rolls over one. Behava Aloy chooses for whatever reason not to turn the double play. And it left the door open. And you come up with the double to tie it. And then, the double to tie it when Hernandez hit Dovlan off the shoulder. And then the heroics from Jared Jones, the game-winning walk-off that we'll talk about forever, y'all. I mean, just absolutely, absolutely incredible. Thank y'all so much for being here, man. It's an amazing night. It's great to spend this time with y'all. You know what? I'm going to get something up. I'm going to get something off the shelf. I'm going to eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. Hang on. I'm going to eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. We're going to have a pour. Here we go. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I don't care. Oh, man. All right. Let's get the earbuds back in. John said, where's the cigar too? You already good at the guitar. There's a time in my life when I was very good at playing the guitar. I don't play nearly enough to be good anymore, but, and where the cigar is, by the way, right here, shout out Bocock Brothers. Big shout out to them. You can get the Jay Johnson box. Use the code MATT15 for 15% off. Appreciate our friends. I'm going to have a little pour. George T. Stagg. How about it, y'all? Big win like that deserves a big pour. A big hearty pour from a B-Tac. How about it? Let's do a pour. Raise your glasses. Go Tigers. LSU is off to the championship series, 2 wins away from number 8. And God bless you all. Go Tigers. Lovely to have you all here hanging out with us. All right. Hit me with some questions, man. I'll reiterate this for those asking. Sergeant King said pool jump. Let me reiterate. For those who are just joining us and who missed it, because I understand there's 3,700 of you watching right now, which is awesome, and I'm very grateful. I will jump in the pool. And I said this, and I will hold true to this. I will jump in the pool when LSU wins the national championship. The Tigers win the national championship. You have my word. I will do this show from my outdoor kitchen, drinking that bottle of Rip 10, Van Winkle Rip 10 year, with a Bocock cigar, a national championship cigar in my outdoor kitchen, and I will stay there for as long as y'all want on this channel. And we will talk all night long if you want. And if the Locked On people don't want me to do that, I'll just ask forgiveness, not permission. And we'll and I was just outside going to get a water. I was just outside going to get a water, and I can tell you the frogs are in full force right now. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Coastal. We're gonna have what a game, y'all! Oh my God, what a game! I mean, you know, we're just like, yo, we're so lucky. Like, we're, as LSU fans, LSU baseball fans, we are so lucky. I love this question, Caleb. Let's get to that. I mean, how many times have we seen LSU do it? And it doesn't even seem to matter who's wearing the jersey. You just always feel like it's going to work, man. Right? You just always feel like it's going to work. I mean, it's almost like you're so surprised when it doesn't. Anyway, okay. Coastal. Coastal is a really good team. If you have any time or tolerance or inclination to go check, you can certainly do it. But Coastal was my pick on the other side of the bracket. I thought it was very impressive what they were able to do, winning their regional, where look, I'll tell you one where I got it wrong. I'll tell you where I got it dead wrong. I looked at their regional and saw Florida going to that regional as hot as Florida was playing. And I was like, you know what? I like Florida. I didn't think Coastal was going to get. I thought Coastal was Coastal and Ole Miss were handed the two toughest regionals in the entire field, and Coastal came out of it. And they went to Auburn, and they didn't just beat Auburn; they obliterated Auburn. Now I'll say this: I know Auburn swept LSU. Well aware, and I don't mean for this to be disrespectful to Auburn or anything like that. I don't think Auburn was a great baseball team because what it takes to win in the postseason is pitching, and Auburn didn't have that. Auburn had a pretty good offensive team, but when Sammy Dutton, and again, no disrespect to Sam Dutton, he had a fantastic season this year. Look at what we are looking at with LSU, with Cade Anderson. Look at what you just saw with Arkansas. Look at Zach Root and Gabe Gackle and Gage Wood. I mean, look at the guys you just saw. And you realize, man, Auburn didn't, like, all those guys you just mentioned are all better options than Sam Dutton. And again, Dutton had a very good year. I'm not, but it just wasn't surprising. Auburn had a fantastic year and was worthy of being a national seed because of the resume they put together. They won 41 games. They were 17-13 in the conference, which was honestly a blemish that I'm surprised got them a national seed at 17 league wins, but the RPI was so good. Their non-conference RPI was 5th. They played as of right now, it's the number one strength of schedule in the country. Now, again, this is all with the postseason going on. So Coastal continuing to win continues to bolster their strength of schedule. I haven't played LSU and all that stuff. But you look at Coastal, and this is a team that's now won 26 straight games. They're 56-11. They're a veteran team. And here's the thing about Coastal. Their strength of schedule is 49. Their non-conference strength of schedule is 5. Again, a big part of that is this postseason run, right? Because all of this is factored in, right now for Coastal Carolina. But they have not lost in the postseason. They're 12-0 in the postseason. They were 12-5 this year against Quad 1 opponents, 8-3 against Quad 2. What dings them is this. They played 22 games against Quad 3 and 17 games against Quad 4. And that's what happens when you play in the Sun Belt. When you play in a lesser league, you're going to end up with getting dinged by that. I think this is a really good baseball team. I have watched them in Omaha. I did not watch them a lot this season. Certainly, the guy that everyone is going to talk about starting immediately is Morrison. So Jacob Morrison is their ace. He's got a 2.08 ERA. In 104 innings pitched this year, he's got 102 strikeouts and 22 walks. And he is massive. Like, he is 6'8". He's 6'8", 245. Like, he's a big old dude. And he has had a really good season. Against Oregon State earlier in Omaha, he went 7 2/3 of 1-run ball on just 5 hits. He struck out 7 and did not walk anybody. Like, doing that against Oregon State, you have my respect. And then there's what he did against Auburn, who can swing the bat, and that's a hitter-friendly park there on the Plains. He went 6 innings of 1-run ball on 6 hits. He struck out 6 and walked 3. Now, I got news. If he walks 3 against LSU and you give this LSU offense opportunities, you're putting men on base. I mean, look at LSU's run-scoring innings. In the 6th, you went double, hit by pitch, and an intentional walk after a sac bunt and a strikeout. They gave you 2 base runners. They gave you the hit by pitch and the intentional walk. Look at in the 9th, they had the error, and on Curiel's hit that ended up being the single with the fielding error. They had the error there, and then a walk to Fry. And then, although it doesn't necessarily count as an error or giving you a base, but like Aloy's fielder's choice, not going for the double play, you going to third was a huge benefit that they gave you. So in your run scoring innings, they gave you base runners. So you do that to this team, they're good enough offensively where they're going to get you. So the other thing to consider with Morrison is he threw against Oregon State on the 15th, which was Sunday. So he threw in their second game on. So he did not throw on Friday. He threw on Sunday against Oregon State. So they could throw him against Anderson on Saturday, or they could throw him a day earlier. They could throw him against Ianson on Sunday, keep him on his day, or a day earlier, 1 day less rest against Anderson on Saturday. That's going to be the big decision that Coastal is going to have to make is, do they throw Morrison game 1 of the championship series against Anderson, or do they hold him for game 2 against Ianson and give themselves an opportunity sort of to pitch backwards, or to pitch off, I guess it would be a better way to say it, to pitch off and give themselves an opportunity to get to a game 3, and then it's a 1-game winner take all, see where the chips may land. So Landry said, are you scarred? Scarred? I'm not scarred. I think maybe you mean scared. 1 hour scared. Sorry. I saw scarred and I'm like, am I scarred from what? I think you mean scared. No, I'm not scared of watching LSU against Coastal. I'm also not going to disrespect Coastal because of the name on the jersey. And I think I and many of you are probably guilty of that back in 2016. I know I saw Coastal pop up on the schedule coming to Baton Rouge and was fired up for it. And Coastal came here and put it on LSU. It was not competitive. They were way better than you in 2016. Metri Ron, I know Scone harps on it. Give me Jake Brown, it's time. Metri Ron, if it took till now for you to understand that, then shame on you. I mean, I'm glad you're on this side of the fence now, but shame on anybody who doesn't get it. I know the fan mentality. It's not an anti-Jake Brown thing. It's a pro-Josh Pearson thing, because we wrap our arms around like the little engine that could, which is what Josh Pearson is. He's not going to be a big leaguer. He's a career 250 hitter. He's not particularly dynamic in any skill set. He's just a really good college baseball player. And there have been tons of those dudes that have come through this program who are critical to the success of this program. So please don't think what I'm saying is disparaging to Josh Pearson. What I'm saying is Jake Brown is going to play in the major leagues. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, hits with power to all fields. He's the fastest guy on your team. He's the best athlete on your team. If you were to take every member of this team and do the athletic score thing, he's the best athlete on the team. Like, it just doesn't make sense when you have a player that's that good who keeps coming through for you. He's hitting 330 with power to all fields and keeps coming in the clutch. Like, it doesn't make sense not to hit him, not to play him. It just doesn't. It has not made a lick of sense all year. So my opinion is, like, Jay has had the challenge all season of trying to keep too many guys happy. And I think at times this year that's been to their detriment. But they're 2 wins away. It's because you have a super talented team. Like, we're splitting hairs between LSU and Tennessee and Arkansas and Texas and A&M as far as the most talented teams. And to win a championship, sometimes it takes luck. Like, God bless y'all. Texas ran away with the SEC. But their Friday night guy suffers a season-ending injury, and the reigning Big 12 player of the year, Max Ballou, breaks his hand and misses half the season. Like, that sucks for them, man. Like, I'm not shedding tears for Texas. I'm just saying if the shoe's on the other foot, think about how you would feel. So sometimes you just have to have luck. Like sometimes to make it to a championship, you have to have great talent and you have to have good fortune and you have to have a good draw and a lot of things. Like LSU got a cakewalk of a draw in their regional and the pairing with the Super with West Virginia coming down. Man, it's just in the Clemson regional. LSU, like sometimes you have good fortune, but then what you do with that is what determines if you win a championship. Like think back to 2023. Think back to 2023, as amazing as that team was. All of the big leaguers we're going to watch play from that team. I mean, Skeens and Cruz are already there. Trey Morgan's on the doorstep. Like, Ty Floyd's going to get there. There are so many dudes. Tommy White's going to get there. There's so many dudes from that team that are going to be big leaguers. But think about how close they were in the Skeens-Louder game on the Trey Morgan flip play. Like, you are that close from losing that game. I mean, and it's not just that. Like, you had to get 6 from Nate Ackenhausen in an elimination game. You had to get 6 from Griffin Herring out of the bullpen in an elimination game to force the Skeens-Louder game. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, my point is, like, to win a championship, you have to be talented, and you have to be great, and you have to be well coached, and you have to have a good draw, and you have to have some good fortune, and it's just all that stuff has to go in it to win a tournament like this. And you just got to be a really talented, disciplined, mentally tough team, and LSU is, and Jay Johnson is that in a coach, and he instills that in his players. And it's why despite the fact that I don't agree with everything that he does, that's okay. Just like y'all don't agree with everything Brian Kelly does or Matt McMahon or any coach. I mean, it's just the nature of it, man. But like, there's nobody I would rather have coaching LSU. Because nobody recruits as maniacally as Jay Johnson, who and the most important part of all of this is talent. And Jay Johnson, it's not breaking news. Jay Johnson would tell you that. You got to have great players. You know what helps win a national championship? Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz, Tommy White. Yeah, that helps. Okay, that helps. Cade Anderson, Anthony Einstein, best 1-2 in the country. Yeah, all that helps. Your big leaguers, future big leaguers who are pinch hitting coming off the bench for it. Yeah, like all that helps. So, and Jay will always make sure that LSU's got the most talented rosters. So I love it. Like, I mean, there's things in this game tonight that I didn't love. I mean, I hated the sack bunt from Hernandez. As much as he struggled, I hated asking Braswell to drop the bat and sack bunt. But it doesn't matter. I mean, it's they won. They're 2 wins away from a national championship. Let's see, Jerome Learson, who starts on Saturday? It'll absolutely be Cade Anderson. Sorry, I'll get back to this one. It'll absolutely be Cade Anderson. Matt, you don't have to agree with everything Jay does. It doesn't mean you think he's a bad coach. No doubt. There's some people though that hear me levy any type of critique or criticism or disagreement and jump on that. And they'll say, oh, Matt, yeah, what, you know more than Jay? No, I don't. I just have an opinion. I have an opinion, like you have an opinion, and that's okay. I get paid to give an opinion. That's why I'm standing here. So that's why I'm sitting here talking. Anyway, so back to the question about who starts on Saturday. It's 100% Cade Anderson. He will be on full rest, and he will give you an opportunity to win game 1, especially if Coastal holds Morrison to game 2. Coastal, by the way, their 3 weekend guys are Jacob Morrison, Riley Eichhoff, and Cameron Flukie. Those are their 3 weekend guys. They're 3 starters. Morrison, as I mentioned, is the big 6'8" righty who's got a 2.08 ERA. Riley Eichhoff, well, again, we're going to talk much more about all these guys. He's a smaller right-handed pitcher. He's a veteran dude. He's a redshirt senior, 5'10", 185. He's got a 3.10 ERA. And then Cameron Flukie, who's a sophomore, he's another giant guy, 6'6", 210, big dudes with a 3.29 ERA. All those dudes have thrown over 90 innings. So Morrison has thrown 104, Flukie's thrown 95 2/3, and Eichhoff has thrown 90 innings on the season. So those are your starters. The big innings eaters out of the bullpen. Luke Jones has thrown 48 2/3 innings with a 3.51 ERA. Dominic Carbone has 40 innings pitched on the season. Hayden Johnson, 36 innings pitched. Matthew Potok has 35 innings pitched. And then Darren Horn has 24 and a third innings pitched. So those are the big arms out of the bullpen for Coastal. So those are the ones we'll all be keeping an eye on this weekend as we get closer to see what they elect to do. Sonny said prefer LSU. Sorry, here it is. Well, the comments are scrolling pretty fast. My apologies. Prefer LSU's lineup against righties. Yes, and LSU has hit better against righties than they have lefties. I got asked the question today. I was doing an interview with Wes Moore in Little Rock, and Wes asked about LSU, the offense having struggles against lefties. Because we're talking about Battle Cheese throwing. And the point I made was, I get the splits being what they are, but I think it's less about lefties and it's more about the quality of the lefty. So, for example, LSU faced Liam Doyle from Tennessee, right? Liam Doyle is a guy who might very well be the first pick of the draft, right? He and Cade Anderson will be the first two college starting pitchers taken in the draft. Liam Doyle went 6 2/3 of shutout ball against LSU, allowing one hit. 6 2/3, one hit. Liam Doyle is awesome. They also faced a lefty from West Virginia, Griffin Kern, who was their ace, right? Their first guy. Griffin Kern, who's big lefty from West Virginia, who went 4 innings against LSU, gave up 4 runs on 2 hits, struck out 3, walked 1, and hit 3 batters. One dude is going to be at the top of the draft. One dude isn't. It's just more the caliber of the arm that you're facing, instead of strictly the side of the plate that you're hitting from. Now, I will say, and I thought Terrio had a great explanation on this, and I'll give a plug. If you go to the Parish Construction and Roofing Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, posted a video. I asked Terrio. Well, I'll play it. Let me just pull it up. I'll play it. The sound quality may not be great, but let me just play it for you here, so you can hear. Because I asked him what has happened for Milam to get going the way that he has, and I thought he gave an awesome answer. He gave an awesome answer about Milam.
Would be probably getting ahead and throwing strikes on the mound.
Hang on.
Second would be.
I asked about Milam. Hold on.
His top hand. If you notice, most all of his hits have been like scalded line drives to the pull side. It tells me that his left hand is engaged and active in his swing. That's his top hand if he's hitting left-handed. So, that is what's swinging the bat. When the left hand's lazy, you can see that barrel kind of drop a little bit, and that's when you see those little lazy, stupid pop-ups. And truthfully, it's kind of what Jones was doing as well, where the barrel comes through the zone, this way rather than, level or even down a little bit. It was just tilted like this, and it creates that lazy. Sometimes you're underneath the ball, sometimes you're late. But Milam has totally changed that, where it's an aggressive top hand.
Anyway, so, and I don't know what video there was that popped up next. I think it was Caitlin Clark. The aggressive top hand. That's a great explanation of what's happened with Milam when he bats from the left side. When he turns to the right side, and the right hand is the top hand, not as aggressive. That's kind of what you're seeing there. So I guess the good thing is they know what to work on. And it's crazy too, because as much of a goof as Terrio can be, he really is brilliant when he talks about hitting. He knows it very, very, very well. Okay. Terry for hitting coach. He'd be great at it. I just don't think he wants to recruit and travel and do all that stuff. Like if he could go to the ballpark every day and just coach hitting, I think he would absolutely do that. Everything else involved in coaching, probably not so much on that. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any more to get to. Shout out, by the way, wait, I just saw this comment. There it is. Locked on Sunbelt, shout out. That's my guy, Dave Schultz. So he notes Coastal has Carbone and Lynch in the back of the bullpen. Eichhoff pitched today. Won't be used until Monday. Okay, good to know. Most likely Fluky, then Morrison. Morrison hasn't gone on short rest in a month. So if there was ever time to go on short rest, it would be the first game of the championship series. But again, because it's a 2 out of 3, he'd still be guaranteed to pitch on Sunday if that's what he did. So maybe you see Fluky then and Cade Anderson against Fluky on Saturday. Ianson against Morrison on Sunday potentially, and then we'll see what happens Monday if you get there, which hopefully you don't get there. All right, y'all. We've been going almost an hour. Let's wrap this thing up. This one said, Matt, are you confident in us winning it all? Yes. It's why I picked LSU to win it all, because I liked Anderson and Ianson more than anybody else. And we saw it with Skeens and Floyd in 2023. When you have and I hate to keep bringing this up, but there's a reason I keep bringing it up. I hate to bring it up. We saw it with Ole Miss in 2021 when they had Dylan DeLucia and Hunter Elliott. That was not a great Ole Miss team. That was the last at-large team in the field, and they won a national championship because they had 2 guys that just didn't lose. They just paced them all the way through the championship, and they won a national championship. This team is actually really talented behind 2 dominant pitchers. So, yes, I think LSU will win the national championship. I thought LSU entered this tournament with the best 1-2 punch in the country. I've said I think this is the best 1-2 punch LSU has ever had. I'm not saying these guys are the best pitchers LSU has ever had. I think this is the best 1-2 starting punch LSU has ever had. And and there have been amazing years where you can go back to 1991 where you had Chad Oj and Paul Byrd, who both became big leaguers. We can look at 2012 where you had Kevin Gausman, Ryan Eads, and Aaron Nola in that rotation. Well, that was freshman Aaron Nola. That wasn't 2-time national pitcher of the year Aaron Nola. It was very good, but it's still freshman Aaron Nola. This is Cade Anderson, who might be the first pick of the draft, and Anthony Ianson, who is 3rd in the country in strikeouts. So, all right. Y'all do me a favor before we bounce out of here. Please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're with us, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I do have to candidly confess something to you all. Saturday, I have a gigantic conundrum. I graduated high school 25 years ago, and my best friend had a camcorder and videoed our entire senior year. He has edited that into a movie 25 years later and rented out a movie theater and everything for all of us to get together and watch. And it's been booked for months. And all of you are saying skip it, and I'm telling you, I'm not skipping it. Not skipping it. So I'll be doing a post-game show at some point after that game, but it probably won't be immediately when the game ends on Saturday. Now, Sunday, when LSU wins the national championship, I'll be jumping in the pool. I'll be jumping in the pool and I'll enjoy it. All right, let's get out of here, y'all. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. We appreciate y'all greatly. If you're on podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Rate us, leave a review if you're on YouTube. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video, and let a friend know if they love the Tigers. We got you here every single day for Locked on LSU, your team every day.